we've been seeing a lot of you recently because, more than ever, we all have time on our hands now. And
Right.
you've been doing the behind the beats probably more heavily than you've done in a while, if ever, right?
Yeah, I started just shooting them on my own with two iPhones. And yeah, it was really just a quarantine thing, but people really react to that shit. So I figure I better keep doing them. It's kind of tricky sometimes. It's like some things can't be revealed. We gotta keep some things. You can't snitch on yourself. That's like the number one rule in hip hop production. So a lot of people want me to do certain ones, and we can't we can't do that for various reasons. But I'm gonna try to be consistent with it and keep them coming.
I mean, they're super great. You're, in my opinion, I was just telling somebody before we did this, I think that you're one of the best hip hop producers alive doing it right now.
Thank you. Man.
A big fan and super prolific. So you have the type of catalog that you can really touch a lot of different records, everything
Right.
from the stuff that you've done with Tuxedo, with Mayer Hawthorne. You've got underground records. You've sort of persevered through many different eras and haven't really even gotten, a lot of producers, they kind of get stuck in a sound. You're doing records for artists like today now where I wouldn't even necessarily expect oh yeah, that's like a Jake One fit.
Right. Right.
Have you found that that being kind of quarantined in the last 9 months, whatever, has that had any effect on your productivity, or is it kind of like same old thing?
I mean, honestly, just not going on tour for a year. I really got back into making beats. I kind of slowed down on making beats by myself, but just being home, having a routine, it just felt like the old days before Tuxedo happened, where I was just in here every day making something at least, even if I'm not, working like 10 hours a day or nothing like that. But just the consistency, you find a new groove, and yeah, it's weird now. They're letting me do full beats again. I get to do drums again. I wasn't getting to do drums for a while, so now I'm back on that.
Right, because a lot of, for those who don't know, the way that the production game has gone a lot, and I've experienced this too because I'm a multi-instrumentalist as well, is that it's very collaborative now, where you have guys who will just do the drum programming and then people who just make, the samples, as it were.
Right.
So being a one-man operation again, I would imagine it's like kind of going back to your original gig.
It
right?
is, and sometimes, I don't know. I love doing it all. I love to collaborate with people. That's great too. I mean, that's been a crazy blessing for me. But there is something about just me sitting in here by myself and just, working at it and catching the vibe. I feel like when I do that, it's definitely a more unique thing that not many people can do. And I have my own sound with it. So it's fun. But, it's like doing something this long, you just get bored with it. And, eventually you got to find a new twist on it, and that's more just like hearing new producers I think are dope, and I'll take something that I hear them doing and try to just incorporate with the shit I've been doing or what I'm good at.
Right. It's almost now like the Instagram or Twitter videos is like the new beat tapes, where you
Man,
just
yeah, there is like an incredible amount of people that are just dope out there. I feel like there's somebody I find out about every day. I'm like, wow, that's really, really good. Because I don't think when I started, the average person was not good at making beats. It was bad. I think I made my first beat probably 93, 94. And if you just went to a Guitar Center or whatever, you would hear some of the most horrid shit ever. Just even local demos. You'd be like, nah. And now I feel like the baseline is way higher because the technology allows you to do some of these things that are a lot more simple. I was explaining to a 20-year-old the other day, just looping a sample used to be a crazy process, right? So now it's you just throw that shit in there and it's click, done. And, it's good and bad, it probably raised the baseline, the floor for people, but we're not getting as many weird, fucked up versions of things that we used to that would kind of come to you on accident.
Right. A little more homogenized. But yeah,
right.
I feel like whenever the bar, the access gets easier, and then that's just going to allow the people who were always going to innovate at like a higher level. So, you know.
Yeah, and personally, I love seeing what the new technology can do and putting that shit with what I do. There's always some new programs somebody puts me up on. And the funny thing is, like, older dudes telling me, like, Lord Finesse will show me some shit on Ableton. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'm about to definitely work that. So it's like just the producer community is dope, and everybody's sharing, you know, the little tips and secrets. It didn't used to be really like that. So you was really about the people you were around. That's all you could get, or you just had to use your ears and try to figure it out that way.
Right. We're all about the information sharing now, whereas before, you know, you had DJs and producers who would cover their records and, you know,
Right.
really
Exactly.
really be extra with trying to not share that information. And now we talk about this all the time. We've done events with the Beat Junkies Institute of Sound. Like, the Beat Junkies have a school for turntables now. Like, shout out to them.
I want to go in there and learn how to scratch too, man. I want to be able to do the, you know, whatever lobster flare or whatever they call that shit now. I don't know.
Shout out to lobster flares. So we welcome you to the show. This is episode number 88. We've had, you know, a lot of guests on the show, and this is, you know, it's a game show. It's trivia, but we also are just kind of talking about, you know, your career and also your experience as a fan, because we're all fans of this music.
That never stops. Yeah.
Yeah, it never stops. So if you're ready, I think we can get into this.
Let's do it.
And you know, I always tell our guests this, that we sort of have two schools of thought when it comes to our, you know, guests when they play on the show. We have guests who are like, I'm going to go solo for dolo. I'm not looking at the chat. And then we have some who are like, if I don't know about this, I might look down at the chat and see what the chat
Can I turn the chat off? I don't want to know what they think.
I don't know if you can turn the chat off.
Right, I'll try to put it like way at the top, so I don't want the answers.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Jake One has chosen his path here. He's in the first group. Fuck the chat.
Yeah.
All right, which we welcome both sides, and you can switch it up. It's all good. But we're gonna hop into our first round.
Okay.
And the first round is called "The Choice Is Yours." This is our general multiple choice. Here we go. This successful soul and R&B singer started his career as one half of indie rap duo Eminem. Was it Trey Songz, Aloe Black, Miguel, or The Dream?
Aloe Black for sure.
He says Aloe Black for sure, and he is absolutely correct. Yeah. Aloe Black in Exile, way back when. This is before I Need a Dollar. This is when he really needed a dollar.
He don't need it now. That's for damn sure.
He doesn't. Listen, Aloe Black is writing checks.
I heard that commercial the other day. He's eating.
Yeah. So, you know, this is an interesting. You didn't work necessarily with Eminem that I know of, but
no.
You've had, you know, an interesting career as well, and we sort of touched on it before, that you started off as a traditional beat maker, and then you sort of segued into this Tuxedo project with Mayer Hawthorne. You know, obviously you were saying that being on the road and you know, touring changed your workflow a little bit, but what was the biggest thing that you kind of got from working with Mayer? You know, you've done full projects with people before, but this was a different thing.
I'd never done a singing project that was just purely singing, so there was just a lot of things I didn't necessarily catch. Like, I mean, first of all, playing the shit live, oh my God, like that was so terrifying at first. But, you know, like anything, you do it enough, you feel comfortable, you find your place in it. I feel like he hears the little things, and I'm more big picture. Like, I can start a million ideas and he can finish them, and I'm not good at finishing things. So it's like a perfect combo in that way. He will sit there and like obsess over like one line. I'm just like, man, can we go get something to eat? Like, you know, I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'll come back to it. And that's even how I make beats. I'm not going to beat my head against the wall. So it's just been a crazy experience. I don't know, all of it. Like, I just didn't think a lot of the things we ended up doing, I didn't think I'd ever do that as a producer. And especially it happened so like late in my career. It's kind of weird to like just jump out there and do that. But it's been dope. It's been really dope. And at the same time, it's dope to go back and do what I kind of like been my traditional thing too. So, you know,
makes you appreciate it more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
That makes sense. All right, we're going to hop into the next question. Question number 2. Doing good so far, Jake. All right. Method Man recorded a revised version of this wrestler's entrance song called Know Your Role on 2000's WWE Aggression compilation. So this was a compilation of songs where rappers, this was in the year 2000, they re-recorded the entrance music for wrestlers. So who did Method Man do the Know Your Role song for? Was it The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, or The Undertaker?
Oh man, I really have no fucking idea. This is crazy, man. Already I'm missing one. Early 2000s, who would be a wrestler from that era? Undertaker, I guess. I wasn't watching wrestling at that point. Steve Austin looked like he was about the aggression. I'm gonna guess Steve Austin. Somebody's gonna be mad at me over this, but
See, Ashcat says this is when you need to use the chat, but Jake has chosen.
Fuck the chat. I'll just be wrong if I miss it.
He's not using the chat. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. The answer was The Rock.
Oh man, all right. I did the damn wrestling theme song and all that, and I still don't know. That's crazy.
Well, listen, it's all good. We're not being hard on you here. We're learning stuff tonight. You famously, or sort of infamously, because I feel like this has grown in scale.
Right.
You were lacing beats for John Cena, and you have a behind the beat on this for The Time Is Now. You mentioned this. I actually produced a television show last year, and we licensed The Time Is Now for a segment in the show because
I didn't get shit. I didn't even know about it.
we talked about this because you had said in your video that you kind of took it. You took the money up front, which was. I mean,
it just wasn't even an option to get money in the back end. So it was one of those just do it or don't do it situations. But you live and you learn, But I guess I should have been listening to the WWE compilation. I missed that. Definitely missed that one.
From what I understand, I don't think that you missed much. Like I don't think that this is held. There was a lot of weird compilations of that era. Like
if you would have asked me like what was Slick's theme song or what was the Big Boss Man, like 80s shit, that was when I was watching wrestling, and then I tapped out. But
got it. I mean, which is fine. There's a weird connection with hip hop and wrestling too. There's a lot of fanatics of one sometimes lean over into the other.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think that the WWE Aggression album is a classic that you need to unearth per se. I will always go to bat for the Loud Rocks compilation. I don't know if you remember that, but this was like all the Loud artists doing.
Was it like a rap rock thing or something like that?
It was a rap rock thing, and it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'm out on the rap rock. That's not for me, man. Nah.
All right. Noted. And the rest of the game is all about
the next one's Limp Bizkit trivia. No.
No, never that. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Here we go. Which of these producers did not work on Bilal's debut album, Firstborn Second? Was it Jay Dilla, Dr. Dre, James Poyser, or Q-Tip?
I'm pretty sure it's Q-Tip because I know Dilla did, I know Dre did, and Poyser was playing keys on a lot of stuff. So.
All right, so producers are always the ones who are going to know about the.
I know these ones. This is on my wheelhouse.
We're going to take a little journey here and listen to the three of these names that are on there. So first we have
Fastlane, Dr. Dre, right?
Fastlane, Dr. Dre, of course.
What's the Dilla song called?
The Dilla song?
I love this beat.
Reminisce, I think.
Reminisce, yeah. Right.
And then
James
Poyser.
Oh man, I love this song.
So the answer is Q-Tip. Great job, Jake.
I'm back.
He's back in his producer bag.
Yeah.
A lot of Bilal was working with Dr. Dre at this point. He was sort of in that fold, Interscope, and it almost seems like I guess it was a while ago, but you were very much in the Dr. Dre camp for a minute in like the 2000s as well, right?
I was doing beats. I had like a song deal with them, and I did a bunch of songs that mostly never came out, but the one that did was Three Kings with Dre and Ross and Jay-Z. So that was great. And
If you,
one of the songs I did in that era just leaked actually, which is kind of
I,
crazy.
I
Yeah,
was going to bring that up.
yeah,
I saw you post about it the other day. You were
right,
like, oh, like this is cool, you
right.
know?
Because I never even had the song. Like I never even
Right.
had it myself. I just heard it in the studio a couple times. So
That's got to be like muscle memory, where it's like you hear it and then you won't
I
hear it
just knew I
again.
really liked it, and I don't always feel that way. There's actually another song that was my favorite out of those sessions that I'm kind of hoping somebody leaks. You know, I don't have it, so if it leaks, it's not me. I don't have it, but it's a Snoop and Dre song that I would love to have a copy of.
We would all love to have a copy of that. Yeah. You got to hope that at some point there will be like the anthology box set. But I guess with
I don't
Dre,
think it's
it's very
coming from.
possible.
I don't think he'll ever do that. But I mean, I'm shocked that his stuff got out because, like I said, they never gave me nothing.
Right.
So, and it was very serious about all that. Like that was in the time this stuff was leaking. I want to say there was a joint with Nas that Khalil did that was amazing. Topless. That leaked.
Topless.
Yeah,
Woo!
somebody hacked the email or something, and yeah. I mean, at least we got to hear it. I guess you know.
I'm so geeked that you mentioned Topless because that drove was so crazy. It was like it felt like a level up from like 2001. Like it sort of had that.
It was just like a new version. Like Khalil. I mean, Khalil's one of my best friends, so like I talk to him all the time. I always tell him like he just. It's unfortunate that people didn't get to hear what he was doing in that time because he really did some special ass music, you know.
Yeah, like just that whole era was like a boot camp of like the Avengers, like just like getting really good. We might not have gotten to see all that, but obviously you guys have
Well,
all gone
the whole
on.
thing, you know, at that time, all my favorite producers were signed over there. So High Tech was there, Khalil was there, Denon was there, and I was friends with all these guys. So when I got that call, it was just a no brainer. I felt like I had made it. You know what I mean? It's like you get that stamp, especially being from the West Coast. You know, it's just one of those things that um, just made me feel like I had arrived, kind of thing. You know.
Totally. All right, we're gonna move on to the final question of our first round. Which De La Soul album features more than one Jay Dilla production on it? Is it
I know
The
this already.
Grind? What would you say?
I
You
already
know
know
it
the
all?
answer, but go ahead.
Well, no, fuck it. You know the answer. Let's dive right in.
Hey, the grind it.
Grind Date, he says, this is kind of close to your heart because Grind Date is also a big
Right,
album for you.
right.
We'll go
It's the
through
only one
these.
I have two songs on with De La Soul too. So there you go.
Hey, like good company. So yes,
Yeah.
for everybody, these were the two songs that were on Grind Date. All the others, you know, Stakes is High obviously had title track. Then we had from the AOIs, one each. We had
Summer City.
one of my favorite. Like it's impossible to pick a favorite Dilla beat, but that one definitely hits me like crazy.
Flat.
Dilla.
Is this peer pressure?
Peer pressure. Yep. Would be real. And then,
Too.
yep. And then on Grind Date, we had Verbal Clap. Or, yeah, Verbal Clap. And then,
yeah. There was only two. I thought it was more than that, but yeah, I guess his shit was so powerful. Just
I
like
think maybe
it just stood
was
out.
No, Future wasn't Jay Dilla, I don't think.
No,
We Are
that was
Sing-
Dave. Dave, I think Dave did the most beats on that album. Super Dave.
I think you're right. Yeah. And this was obviously, you had, you know, the standout, you know, and I think for a lot of people, this is still one of their favorite beats of yours is the Rock Cocaine Flow beat.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I always wanted to know what was the precedent for you doing that? You didn't really, to my knowledge, have a lot of beats where the tempo slowed. And I mean, the tempo isn't really changing. It's still on the grid, but like the quantization of it is changing.
It's basically, I was listening to all that Rockefeller stuff at the time. Like they just always had like a bunch of like kicks, like with the sample at the beginning, like dun, 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 dun. So I did that with the sample, and I don't know what made me just tap the tempo down and then tap it up. And that was really, I just put it on the beat tape like that, and everybody freaked out. Like, I didn't even really think about it that much. I didn't even know it was that special. I thought it was a dope beat, but I didn't, I didn't know it was gonna be that. It's all, it's the song. A lot of times, it's the song people put on it too. Yeah, I feel like some of the best beats I've made, maybe the right song didn't get to it, and then it's just another one, Whereas like you can have a good beat and then a good rap and a good song, and then it's special, right?
And not just a special De La song, but also the alchemy of De La and Doom
Right.
being on the same track, and like
That was the first time I got to work with him too. So yeah, it's crazy.
man. So speaking of Jay Dilla, Jay Dilla's on everybody's mind as we always think about him. In February, we've got Donuts, his birthday, and his untimely passing. Gun to your head, Jake one. Top 3 Dilla beats.
Players, Slum Village. That's
Yep.
definitely one of them. Turn Me Up Some, Busta Rhymes.
Crazy.
Trying to think of another one. This is it the Official, the Madlib one? Yeah, the Official.
Yeah, the
No,
Official.
no. The Red. That's what it's called. The Red.
Oh yeah, with that's one that has had some sample issues, and that's not on the reissue anymore. It has a different beat. I forget. It's a beat that was used also. I want to say Raekwon rapped on it at some point.
Oh, weird. Yeah, that's strange.
I remember working at a record store with somebody who had never heard the J-Lib album, and we had the reissue that had just come up, and they were really liking it. And we get to like, what is it, track 5 or 6, The Red, and the beat came on. It was a different beat, and like they're like, why? What's wrong? Like, why are you guys making that face? And we're like, no, you don't understand. Like,
I'm tripping that even happened. So like, I mean, I have my copy, so I guess.
Yeah. if you whether you got the copy or the MP3, just do the original Red.
And then I'd say the bonus beat, because I was really into his beat tapes, like, and I'm saying like actual cassette tapes, not like when people started getting them, but I met House Shoes in probably '98.
Oh wow!
Went to his crib, and he gave us a tape of Dilla beats. This was probably 98, 99, something like that. But he had some beats on there that never came out that are just ignorant. There was one beat he did with Funky Worm that I just want a cleaner copy of. I'm sure I'll never get it, but
that's amazing.
That one still. I mean, I listen to the beat tapes probably more than even the stuff he had with rapping on it, because that's just let me just soak it up that way better.
What do you think about? I've been seeing this online a lot, and people are associating Jay Dilla with the lo-fi sound. Like they're saying, like Jay Dilla was lo-fi, and I've seen a lot of people sort of.
I think Donuts is definitely lo-fi, right?
Right.
But that was the only thing he did like that. So like, I mean, something like the stuff on Grind Date, like for him to take all them samples and have that shit that clean is the opposite of lo-fi. So, and most of the records he did were not lo-fi at all. I don't know, I wasn't there, obviously. I don't know if his situation studio-wise towards the end, he wasn't able to clean it up in that way. But, I mean, it has its own charm too, right? I mean, I always thought that was kind of him just being around Madlib and more of a nod to that.
Absolutely. I think they definitely influenced each other at that stage of his career. Yep. Right. But shout out to House Shoes, former guest on our show. Shout out to Teray. I see you in the chat, Teray. What up? Another former guest. You got hip hop royalty in the house. All right, Jake, we're moving on to our second round. And the second round is called Picasso, baby. So in this round, crazy beat, I am going to show you a piece of an album cover, and you have to identify what the album is by the little snippet that you see. So
that's funny. Okay.
You see what we did there, the whole Picasso thing. All right. So here we go. First album. What album cover is this? Is it Cypress Hill's self-titled album? Is it the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, Souls of Mischief 93 Till Infinity, or is it Keek the Sneak, Sneak-a-Sidle?
That would be funny if it was Keek the Sneak, but it's not. I actually, ironically, listened to this album today, Souls of Mischief 93 Till Infinity.
That flannel, you'd recognize it anywhere, right?
I mean, I feel like a lot of record covers, I know them, but I don't really know what's going on in the picture. And recently I was even trying to think, like, what is that? Are they in are those like walls next to them? Are they in a small like room? Because they seem like they're right up on the ceiling. I don't know.
It makes me think maybe, you know, the 93 Till Infinity video, they were very much in nature in the woods, and maybe
Right.
like, was this a cave maybe?
There you
Like,
go. There you go. Yeah.
we're just speculating. You
Yes.
know, when we get souls on here, we'll have to ask them. But the Bay was a pretty pivotal force in your career as well. You've always
1,000%. Yeah.
how did that connection come? Obviously, you're in Seattle, but did you ever live in the Bay?
I
Or
lived in Oakland for a year actually in 2007. It was when I actually quit my job and stopped being that dude working a job and started doing music. I just wanted to try living somewhere else. So I lived in Oakland for a year. Um, I loved it down there, man. I made a lot of friends. I mean, Seattle has always been super inspired by the Bay, you know, from Too Short days. Like, I mean, I can remember, you know, one of the big homies having the Born to Mac tape and us listening to him like, oh my God, what is this? He's cussing so much. I want more. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then, you know, 40 took over and 40 recorded down the street from my house. Like he actually recorded some of those records. And some guys from Seattle did his beats like Funk Daddy and Red Wine and Kevin Gardner. So like they were definitely the closest thing for us of somebody that had made it. And people here just love the music to this day. I mean, like Larry June is like super big in Seattle. Like there's certain guys that'll have a huge career just in Seattle, Portland, the Bay Area, you know?
yeah. There's a strong influence there for sure. And Hyro was, you know, I know that you did stuff with Casual.
Right.
Which was crazy. You know, I love that production as well. So, you know, Hyro definitely are
Yeah, I mean,
legends.
my boy ID worked at Hyro, so you know, I worked on this encore album for them, and then when I moved down there, I would just go hang out over there, and you know, that was kind of how some of that happened. But they had the big warehouse. I don't know if they still got that anymore, but
Right.
I mean, those were like my heroes when I was in high school. It's funny, we're probably about the same age, but yeah, 93 to Infinity. That's one of the, you know, there's not that many albums I know all the lyrics to. I probably still know the lyrics to that. Like I don't know the lyrics to none of my albums, or I mean, damn near anything past that. But
Right.
that was, I mean, I listen to that shit so much.
Amazing. Yeah. Shout out to Hyro. Big fans over here. All right. Second question in this round. What album is this? Is it Aesop Rock, Labor Days, Brother Ali, Shadows on the Sun, Talib Kweli, Gravitas, or is it Organized Confusion, The Equinox?
It's definitely one of the top two. I believe that's Ali Shadows of the Sun. I'm pretty sure. That would have been fucked up if I didn't know that, because that's really my friend. But I never looked at his cover like that, strong like that. So
I was looking at this cover today, and it's a dope cover if you kind of look at it. There's a lot going on, but it almost feels like it's not quite the style that he would eventually like
right,
adopt.
it doesn't look like what the music sounds like. Like I was like, nah, that's not A$AP Rock.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that right, because he would have found out about that. He wouldn't have been happy.
We don't ever want to, you know, tarnish the relationships on this game.
Yeah.
So that's good. But you know, you've done a project with Ali, and
Yeah.
kind of two if you count like the Leftovers album.
Right. Those are just some other songs we did during that time. Yeah.
What is it like working with Ali? Because he's pretty picky too about who he works with. Because I believe you were the first person that he did a project with. It wasn't Ant from Atmosphere.
Right. You know, I wanted to do something with him. He was a dope rapper, but he was too serious, and I unfortunately I didn't really get him out of that. It's just who he is, and I love him for it. But like a lot of my favorite songs, we ended up using because he was so about, you know, and what he's saying means so much to him, and you know, it's his message and what his fans are into. Me personally, I don't really listen to lyrics like that. I listen to the beat and the flow, and that's what gets me. So it was interesting just seeing even like his overall message, what he was going for, how important that was to him. So, you know, I'm more like, man, does this shit make me feel good? Cool, let's use it. You know.
Yeah. And did he come to Seattle and work with you on it?
Like, he did. Yeah, he hung out in Seattle a lot. We recorded most of that here, actually. Yeah. So that was cool. Came in the summer. That's the time you want to come. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy with him because he's one of the only dudes I know that's like lives his raps like almost too much. I'm like, damn man, you can't get no fun, no fiction, no nothing. It's like he's about living his raps. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that was like a cool foray into the Rhymesayers world as well, which you
Right.
did a few projects under
Right.
that umbrella. But yeah, shout out to Ali. We're gonna move on to the third question in this round. What album cover is this? Is it Freeway, Philadelphia Freeway, Exhibit at the Speed of Life, King T, the Triflin album, or is it UGK Riding Dirty?
Definitely a Philadelphia Freeway, who I actually talked to earlier today. So it's appropriate that he's on here. That's my
Freeway, Philly Freezer. Shout out to Freeway, and yeah, you guys. That was another Rhymesayers, oddly a Rhymesayers project.
Right.
But, it's one of those things that, like, if you look in the whole catalog of his, it's kind of one of those like, oh, that's like interesting.
Yeah, I think at the time, like that was kind of like, I just thought it would be funny to do it there. I mean, me and him were already working. Sadiq and I had developed a good relationship from Rhymesayers, and I told him about it, and he wanted to do it. And the funny thing is, he had no idea what Rhymesayers was, so like it was just a whole different world for him, a whole different experience, probably for both of us. So like,
oh, I can't hear you, Jake. I think the volume went out here. Check. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay. Someone's trying to call. Yeah, it was really dope. I think we were a little ahead because I feel like a lot of people ended up doing these kind of projects later, and it wasn't as like shocking as when we did that.
Right.
And we've been working on new music, so maybe we'll get another one this year, hopefully.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Let's be clear though, regardless of how you feel or how we look back on, if it was shocking or not, there is no way I think you would have had perhaps the dopest album packaging of all time were it not on Rhymesayers, because
that was definitely them. Yeah, it was Brent from Ego Trip. He just came with that idea. And even when they told us, I was like, oh, that's dope. But then when I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is wild. Like, and this was at a point where nobody was really wanting to buy physicals, and I'm sure it helped us sell some CDs with that.
Yeah, I just remember my mind being blown when I saw that. And if you guys haven't seen it, I believe that they still have like the unboxing or unpackaging video on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely check that out. One of the most creative album packagings I've ever seen, and to this day still. So incredible. All right, so you did pretty good on the second round. We're getting into the third round, and it is called Digging in the Crate.
I should be able to do that.
Yeah, this is kind of your shit. So
that was actually Lord Finesse just calling, so appropriate you just play that. Shout out to Finesse, he's not on here, but hey.
Appropriate and also kind of a flex, Jake. Kind of a flex.
No, I mean, I feel fortunate to have friends like Lord Finesse, man.
And I feel honored that you would reject a call from Lord Finesse to stay on this
right.
show. So it's all love, all the way. So this is the sample round. So this is all going to be about samples. I'm going to play you a sample, and then we'll ask a question about it. So let's go. And by the way, guys, if you have questions for Jake One, if we have time at the end, we'll do a little Q&A. So drop them in that little question bubble box thing. I see a lot of cool comments here. All right, so all of the following artists have sampled or interpolated Isaac Hayes' Walk On By, except for one of them. So I will play the Isaac Hayes song. We all know it, but just to kind of grease the memory here, who has not sampled or interpolated this? What do you say, Jake? Is it Wu-Tang Clan, MF Doom, Ludacris, or Nas?
Well, I know Doom had one. I'm pretty sure Ludacris had one too, like a random one. Wu-Tang Clan, somebody in the Wu-Tang Clan used I don't know if like the group Wu-Tang Clan, but one of the members definitely had a song with Walk On By at some point. Like, just it's impossible if they didn't.
The law of averages.
I mean, they used every Stax record known to man. So like, damn man, is it like a random Nas song on Nostradamus that has Walk On By I don't know about? So it's like it could be something like that too, right?
I think you should go with your gut on these, is what I always tell people.
I'm gonna say Nas doesn't have one.
Okay, so we're going to go into it now. We'll listen to it. So first you had said Doom.
I knew that, yeah.
Then we also had, oddly enough, Ludacris did
right?
flip it
I don't
on the
remember what
chicken
song
and
it
beer.
was. Yeah. There you go.
Super hard. So this is the moment of truth. Let's hear it. The third artist.
Yeah, see?
Wu-Tang Clan.
It had to be a Wu-Tang thing. There's no way. But, you know, it's like, I don't know every damn Nas song. He got a lot of songs. Or every Wu-Tang song. But you just know there has to be one.
You got to go with your gut. And
What album is that from?
That is a Wu-Tang song. It is it's I want to say it's like the third or fourth one. It's what is it called? It's
The W?
yeah, I think it's the W.
Okay.
It's the W.
All
it's
right.
like Can't Sleep or it's escaping me at this moment. But yeah, it is the W. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. So
That was kind of hard though, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little tricky.
listen, it would be a disservice to us and you if we were pitching you like
Oh,
softballs.
man.
Jake won.
Oh,
I Can't
man.
Go to Sleep was the name of
I would have been mad if
song.
I would have missed that one.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the second question in this round. Lil Jon produced a smash single for this artist using the same keyboard patch used on Moody Man's I'm Doing Fine. So I will play you I'm Doing Fine, and you tell me.
I know the answer, but play it anyway.
We're going to play it
I
for
just
the
found out
benefit
about
of-
this recently, though. So
as did we.
Yeah.
But hold on. Before we get into it, let me play the sample.
yeah, so filthy.
What's the answer, Jake?
C E40. Tell me when to go. That's so crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe after the verses thing, somebody figured that out. You can't get away with shit no more, man. There's too many people on the internet.
Snitches. I mean, does that affect you in terms of how you clear or don't clear records now? Knowing that, like,
I would say I've just gotten really good at being tricky.
He's like, it ain't
Whatever
a problem
that
if you don't
means,
get
you know,
caught.
you can read into that what you want, but Who Sampled hasn't got me on some shit that I didn't expect him to get in a long ass time. So
Right. So
they have made some ones up that didn't exist. Like there'll be some that we used all live instruments, and they'll be like, "You stole this Aretha Franklin." It's like, no, you were just trying to get me sued. But yeah,
rap snitches, telling all your business.
he said.
Yeah, somebody had told us, we ran this question in one of our Twitch games that we do where like everybody gets to play. And somebody said that sound was actually a preset in the keyboard. So we weren't sure if it's a sample or if he just happened to use the same patch.
Possible it might be in like a, motif or some shit or whatever they're using in those times.
Nonetheless, mind-blowing, and just the dope thing about sampling culture is just the discoveries on these records that you think front and back, and then all of a sudden it's like, what?
I mean, I would have thought the only thing in there would be the part from Dumb Girl,
right?
Which I always thought was so perfect the way they threw that in there. That was genius.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna move on to the final question in this round, Jake one. It's Only Love Doing Its Thing by Barry White was sampled on a hit single by this producer. So let me hit that sample. This is a little tricky. There's layers here. So I'm gonna play
I think I know it, but go play.
All right.
Yeah, I got it. That's what I thought.
What's the answer?
C, Dirty Swift, MIDI Mafia for I don't remember the name of the song.
You might not remember the name of the song, but you definitely know the song. And
21 Questions.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, this is fire.
Yeah, there's a photo of them there. I don't know. It seems like a candid moment. They're also both wearing what looks like hockey jerseys, maybe, or something.
I bet you he got a G-Unit spinner watch for Christmas too.
Have you gotten one of those?
I did. I got like a G-Unit spinner watch somewhere. Yeah.
You don't even know where it is. Like it's just somewhere.
I mean, it wasn't like platinum or nothing like that. It was like some rubber shit, but it was like it was tight. It's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, should have that though. I don't know where it's at.
If it was me, I'd be wearing it every day. I'd just be, I'd be shoehorning it into every, like
right.
I do. The cool thing about 50 and G Unit in general, but 50 is that they really were kind of early in embracing not just the big name producers per se at the time.
1000%. Shout out to Shaw Money, D Prosper. Those guys, I mean, they definitely discovered me. They discovered quite a few people. I feel like they used Justice League really early. Illmind, The Business. They found a lot of people. And, I would be up, at a session with those guys for whoever it was, and they'd be playing beats. And I'd be like, who's this? I'm like, oh, these guys, Justice League. I'm like, damn, this beat's crazy. I better get better. And, like, it was, that really, those guys just gave me a shot when they didn't have to. And they did that for a lot of people. And the crazy thing about 50 is that nobody had priority on getting beats on his albums but Dre. So he would do stuff with Dre. Everybody else is just giving your CD to him, and he raps on it. He doesn't want to know who did it until after. So like it was rap lottery, 1000%.
It's very democratic to do it that way because he's not letting any biases go in. It's just about the music.
It's really dope.
I mean, really dope, but I'm sure stressful when you're wondering, like, damn, I really hope this.
It would be stressful when you knew they had a song, and then you're like, oh man, when are they turning this shit in so they can't take it off?
Right.
In those days, I'm trying to get my break, and that shit would really mean a lot, right? So, they would have you on edge for sure. So, I mean, I had to be one of the people landing the most songs with them during those times, though, because I was getting on every album for a while and a couple on some of the albums. So, shout out to Shaw Money, great dude, D Prosper, both of those guys, man. D Prosper has a whole nother career. You wouldn't even have known that dude worked for G Unit. He was up there trying to play Mad Lib beats for them. I saw the shit,
Right.
They'd be like, but what's all the talking at the beginning? So you'd have like some skit. And he's like, we just want to rap. You know what I mean?
Right. Sorry, Mad Lib.
Mad Lib's done okay for himself, man. I think he's survived.
I think he's bounced back. But does he have the G Unit spinner watch though?
No, he probably got something way cooler than that from somebody though.
Oh, he's drinking out of like some golden goblet with like medallions on it.
I hope to one day.
We'll all get there. All right. Jake, we have reached the final round, and the final round is called Time's Up. So this is our speed round.
All right.
You're going to have 90 seconds to answer 5 non-multiple choice questions in the category of your choice. These are the categories for tonight. Take it back to 88, keep it fat, or car talk. So you get to choose which category, and you will have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions.
What does keep it fat refer to?
It's all about the word fat, the concept of fat people in hip hop. Just like it's all about fat questions. Car talk is obviously car talk, and since you are our 88th episode, we are taking it back to 88, and those are all questions about the year 1988.
88, I was 12. Yeah, fuck it. 88, I might know. There might be some shit from 88. I don't know, but whatever. Let's go.
Okay. All right, so let me go over a quick little subsection of rules here. If you don't know the answer, you can say pass, and we'll come back to it. But if you answer incorrectly, the question is burnt. So you got to, be careful about it. Again, I know you said fuck the chat. You hate fans. You don't like support. But just know that it's there.
All right. No, I don't want the chat, man. That's cheating.
No, he's not doing it. All right. No. And I have OC's Time's Up. And it is time to 90 seconds. So when we stop hearing it, your time will be up. So, Jake, are you ready to do this? Are you ready to take it back to 88?
I am.
Okay. I'm going to pull this up here. Make sure that I got it. All right. 90 seconds on the clock. Jake won. Here we go. The album title and cover artwork for BDP's By All Means Necessary pays homage to this person.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X is correct. All right. Public Enemy's second album, It Takes a Nation of Millions, came out in '88, but its first single came out the year before. What was the single?
Yes. A Rebel Without a Pause.
Rebel Without a Pause is correct. All right. This indie rapper released an album called 1988 in 2005 on Rhymesayers.
Oh, shit. See, man, this is cheating. I'm thinking it's about 1988. Pass.
All right, we're going to pass. All right. This duo's vinyl version of their '88 album marked the first double album in hip-hop.
Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince.
That is correct. Marley Marl got busy in 1988. Name the 4 albums that he produced in their entirety that year.
Big Daddy Kane.
That's 1.
G-Rap.
Okay.
88. Biz.
Biz is 2.
G-Rap is. In Control.
In Control is 3. 1 more.
Damn, who's not Master Ace? That wasn't '88, was it?
No, it's not Master Ace. All right.
Shan.
Shan is correct. I'm going to give that to you. You slid right in there.
Right.
The answer that I tripped you up there with, the rapper Blueprint.
Ooh, I was going to guess that. Damn it. All right, I was going to guess that, though. That was my one guess.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm going to total up your score here, but Jake, I want you to know that no matter what happens, like a proud parent, you know, you did great and you are a champion in our eyes.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still mad about the wrestling question, man. That hurt.
Yeah, the wrestling question, that was a curveball that we threw in there.
Oh, man.
So Jake, and by the way, guys, if you have questions for Jake 1, now is the time to drop them in the question box.
All right, now look at the chat.
I've totaled up your score. You got 13 out of 15 correct. Now, let me tell you who that puts you in a class with. Other people who have been on our show who have gotten 13 out of 15. Mad Skills, Open Mike Eagle, Scratch Bastard, Dante Ross, Teray, who has been in the chat, Questlove, Just Blaze, House Shoes, Dart Adams, Lyric Jones, It's the Real, Big Les from Rap City. I mean, I don't want
these are my people. I feel good about that.
The 13
what was the other one I missed? Was it the Blueprint one?
The Blueprint one.
Damn,
and the wrestling
I should have guessed it at least. All right.
Woulda, coulda. Listen, Jake. I have one final question for you before we move into questions from the chat here. Now that you've been on the show, we always like to ask, who would you nominate, a homie of yours or somebody that you know, who do you think needs to come on this show and flex their trivia skills?
I mean, as far as who I think will do bad, I just want to embarrass them, or who's going to be good?
I think who would be good and like somebody that like is a friend, like, but I don't know, maybe you want to set your friends up, but like, you know.
Man, I'll say DJ Khalil. He knows some hip hop. He's pretty good at that.
DJ Khalil would be great. He lurks. I got to tell you, he lurks because I see him in our chat sometimes, and I know he follows us. We gotta make that happen. I'm gonna DM Khalil, see what we could do here. Do you have some time to take some questions? From,
let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys, drop your questions in here. All right, we got a question from our very own Steve Wonder, who asks, can you talk about the digging scene in Seattle in the 90s? Why were cats so hungry for ill records? What was Seattle like in the 90s?
It was wide open, man, on the record front. It was really, Supreme. I met DJ Supreme LaRock. He's definitely like my big brother, and really showed me like the whole thing with digging. Like, I was buying records, but it was really like, oh, this has an afro on the front, or this is funky, whatever. You know, I was pretty generic with it. And I met him when I was like 18 or 19, and I just would hang out with him like every day after college and go record shopping. And he would be like, buy this, buy this, buy this. and that was how I got my education on it. And I think, there just wasn't as many, we didn't have the internet to like, take away from the records being out there and people charging a lot. So it was just wide open. It was, your knowledge really put you ahead in those days. I don't think, now it's just different. Everything's kind of known, it's just totally different, and not necessarily in a bad way, but
just different,
yeah.
different. Obviously, you have a healthy record collection. We've been looking at it in the background this whole time. Do you still go digging, or like, what is your relationship with buying records now?
I try to. I actually bought some records today because I haven't been to a record store in a long time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's a thing where I feel like if I go to a store and you're going to charge me the most highest price that there is online, I'm like, why did I go to the store? I could just sat in my house and order
and not have to put shoes on.
Right, exactly. You didn't have to waste my time to find your good records you had in your store. So it just kind of depends, like I've gotten really spoiled because we go to Japan a lot and overseas, and like it's just not fair, it's like it's not fair. It's just it's really like just set up for you on a platter, so
it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, we're gonna see what else we got from the chat here. All right. Okay, this is an interesting one from LA Music Attorney. Has another producer ever taken credit for your work, and if so, how did you deal with it? Maybe we don't have to put people on blast.
Right. There's times. I mean, especially since I started putting the samples out and stuff. I make my own little samples, and guys make their beats with them. And it's funny how I discover them, because it's not like I'm necessarily listening to everybody's album, but like the other day I was listening to a podcast, and a song came on. I was like, this is familiar. I know this for some reason. And I was like, that's my loop, right?
Oh, wow.
So, I looked it up. It wasn't really making that much noise. I'm like, it's not worth tripping over it. I'll sell this shit again,
right?
Because it's not like I authorized that. So honestly, I'm not about the bringing the lawyers out and all that. That's not really my style. So usually if something like that happens and there is some money to gain, we usually just go in and make a deal and keep it pushing,
Yeah, it is.
I don't take it personal.
Sure. I mean, because a lot of times I would imagine it's not even always done maliciously. It's just that, if somebody's collecting samples from a bunch of different sources.
Right. A lot of guys just don't know. They're just like, oh, I have this folder of shit. And I think the digital way we do things, I mean, I could see myself not knowing where I got something if I didn't write it down.
Right.
In the session. It'd be easy to figure that out.
Difficult to track. Yeah. This is sort of related, I guess, but from the Mecca 504 asks, will you collab with upcoming producers, or up and coming, I guess he means?
I do sometimes. It's mostly like musicians, because I try to get guys that do stuff I can't do.
Right.
They're like more skilled at those kind of things. So, over the years, like some of my musicians ended up being stars on their own, like
G Coop's
one, Malay's another guy that ended up producing all the Frank Ocean stuff.
Yeah.
Sam Wish is turning into a star in his own right now. So like, I mean, I take pride in that. The guys that have kind of come up under me have like really done well. And, when I get somebody there first, get them on a record for the first time, it's like exciting to be able to tell somebody that. Like, I love that shit.
It's like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We got a couple more. Okay, Dom Synchro asks, will there ever be a White Van Music sequel?
Man, I really don't know, because there was probably a point in 2011, 12 that I was really working on it, and what ends up happening is I send people beats, and then they just end up using them on their album. Like, there's a bunch of songs I could point out, like Acid Rain, Chance the Rapper, that was supposed to be for my album. But in the end, it's like, if they have a bigger platform, it's like, how am I going to hold it for my thing? It probably is never going to come out. Like, I have 4 or 5 songs I did in 2011 or 12 that I still ain't put out,
Right.
So I don't know.
It kind of increases your chances of like having more opportunities if you do let them go off into their own vessels.
I just feel like I could always make, I don't know. It's tricky. I think if I lived in a city where more of the artists were, I could get it done a lot easier. But just like bugging people, it's not my style. I'm not gonna be blowing up their phone like, "Yo, where's the verse at?" Like, nah, I'm not. It's not that serious. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I probably will put out more instrumental albums. I probably will do more albums with a single rapper because it's just a lot easier to do that. But
Right.
drawing like 20 people together for one project is fucking difficult. You know, I don't really even know how I did it back then, honestly, when I think about it.
I was just about to ask you because, guys, if you don't like, if you look at the track listing for the White Van Music Jake One's compilation that he put out, there's multiple artists on single songs, and
Right.
it's like it's a who's who of the underground, but then also a lot of people that were commercial. Like, how did you wrangle that? Like,
Well,
that just seems crazy.
I think at the time I was like, it was the G Unit era, and I was working with a lot of guys, and I remember MOP had that song, and they were going to use their album, you know, for their album, and then whatever happened, all that shit went in flux, and I was like, "Can I get the song?" They let me have it. So it was stuff like that, you know, and there was definitely ones I made specifically for the album. The Truth was a Freeway song for his second album on Def Jam that we just didn't finish. I think he wanted to put Kanye on it originally,
Oh wow.
and that just didn't happen. And then, of course, I was like, no, let's not get Kanye. Let's get Brother Ali. That's going to be bigger. So I used it for my album.
Great song.
Yeah, that was my favorite song on the record. That one in the record I did with all the Seattle guys, Home, that's probably my favorite one personally. But
Yeah.
you know, like that, it's kind of that's how it happened. And yeah, I probably could go in my computer and pull out 15 songs right now of various people, but I don't really want to do it that way this time. I don't know. Maybe I will. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind. I feel like I will probably put out songs here and there, but like a whole project, I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
totally makes sense. We got a couple more we'll dive into here. SP385 asks, what's the best advice you can give on producers beating beat block? Do you ever get beat block?
Man, all the time. I think once you start having any success, you're always like measuring up against what your past stuff was. So like, it's never good enough sometimes. I mean, for me, I just usually do something totally out of the pocket of what I normally do. That's how Tuxedo happened. I started making some beats. It was like no pressure. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm just doing this shit for fun.
Right.
And somehow that turned into a thing. And usually that's what I do. I might make a mixtape. I might try to flip a sample that's really obvious and hide it, you know, like as a challenge. Like it's that kind of stuff, you know?
Right. So just flexing different like muscles, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right.
Or just turn the shit off and go do something else. Like, I mean, I do that a lot too. I'll give up on a beat quick. Like, if it's not going right, I'll give up.
Yeah. Gossip Culture asks, can you talk about your label Funk On Sight? Any upcoming releases?
That's the label me and Mayer started because we decided to, you know, try to control all our stuff 100%. I don't know if we're gonna put anybody else out. You know, a lot of people have been asking me about you know, the next Tuxedo album, but you know, we haven't. The pandemic basically made it so we haven't been able to get together. So,
right.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. We put out a song a month or two ago, and I'm sure we'll try to get some other songs together this year to put out, but it's just hard to say. As far as putting out other artists, I don't know, man. I don't really feel like a label guy, man. I don't like being responsible for other people's like success in that way. I'd rather be able to just kind of like help them and then get out the way. And I feel like when you're the label, they could be getting mad at you over something, and I don't really want that place.
Right, because the label gets blamed.
I mean, you know, shout out to my boy Amir. Blame the label.
You're blame the label, exactly. it's not just a clever
I've done
name.
it many a time, you know, shit.
Yeah, don't want to voluntarily become the automatic scapegoat for, you know, there's no guarantees when you're putting out music that it's going to hit or not. So that makes sense. Listen, Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show. Like, this was great. I think we all got a lot out of it. We had fun. You, you know, you shared a lot of knowledge.
I want it perfect, man. I'm pissed. I thought I was going to get 15.
Listen, get in line. We've only had 3 people that have gotten a score of 15. We've had Mr. Len from Company Flow. We've had Head Crack. and we've had DJ Skiz.
Damn, Skiz. All right.
Yes.
Congrats
Yeah,
to
so
him for that. That's ill.
well, we're going to do like a championship at some point, and we'll see if we can get people to come back. We've been trying to tinker with the format and see, like, maybe on Twitch or something, we have like head to head. Like maybe, you know, you guys can
Yeah, I'll
square
fuck
off.
somebody up head to head, man. I'm not worried at all. It'd be like DMC or something for me.
Or yeah, it's like the new era of like the Scribble Jam, DMC, something like
Yeah.
that. Thank you so much. Again, we appreciate it.
All right. Peace, guys.
Peace, Jake.